Jennifer Lawrence and Michelle Pfeiffer, Noah starring Russell Crowe, Black Swan starring Natalie Portman. Needless to say, many of your films have won Academy Awards. So the question for you is, why do you decide to tackle a question which is so profound yet so intimate as death, life, and mortality? Why did you choose this topic?
I started thinking about immortality and longevity back in, I guess it was around 2000. I started working on a film called The Fountain, which is about a man who wanted to live forever. And a lot of the ideas in that were in the realm of science fiction. But over the last 15, 20 years, as you were talking about, science has started to really investigate some of these avenues. I think as the boomers and we Gen Xers are getting older, there's suddenly a lot of interest about end of life and how not to deal with it in many ways. So as it got popular, I thought it might be time to revisit those themes and actually examine longevity science in the state of where it is. And so we just started to put together this incredible team of experts and needed to find a host to lead us through it.
So you've had access to some of the leading minds and leading researchers on the topic. So after all of this, are you optimistic? Is there a glimmer of hope? Can we see the light at the end of the tunnel? Or is it an illusion?
Well, BJ can talk more about this in a second, but the kind of punchline of The Fountain was always that death is part of life. And so what episode did they show tonight? Did you guys watch Acceptance tonight? Oh, great. So you got to the end. So really, at the beginning of this show, I always knew I wanted the final episode to be about acceptance. And then through the insights of this panel, we started to realize that actually having acceptance is one of the healthiest things that you can do. So that's really the answer, is welcoming death as part of life is a big part of living healthy lives.
Okay, now next, Dr. B.J. Miller, you're a palliative care professor at the University.
I was just thinking about the title, because I think when I first pitched it, it was always Limitless. I was a little bit upset about that movie, but I was like, oh, this will be bigger than that. But I just thought it was the right title, and it's funny because the episode you watched tonight is the answer to Limitless, is that it's not limitless, that there is a limit. And just hearing Ross talk about the limitless of Chris's resilience, which I definitely never found the limit of it, although we tried. We never got to, he never gave up on anything. He got through everything, every bar we raised, he went for it. But the final episode is about it. So I don't know what that means, but that's what I just learned this minute. And I haven't figured out what that means, but I'm thinking about it.
I'll just say I have nothing to say because I haven't watched the other episode.
These guys haven't seen it yet, so it's hard for them. They haven't taken the lessons from it. I was one of the big mentors in the project, who's not in this episode, but is in 2 of the other, or 3 of the other episodes, is Dr. Peter Attia, and I've been friends with him for a long time and listening to his wisdom for a while. So it was interesting to see a lot of the things he's been thinking about, and then bringing in the specialists of the specialists to sort of question it. And like, it was very interesting that the ice plunge, that there's no science for it right now. Yet for everyone up here, I don't know if you guys do ice baths, but for the 3 of us, we all know that there's definitely benefits, but there isn't any actual evidence yet. But we did learn that sauna, absolutely, there's real science over, what do they call it when it's over a long period of time? That type of experiment? Longitudinal, whatever it is. But that they have all these different tests where they take populations that don't do sauna, and then they do sauna, and they see all these incredible results. So It was interesting, and we were. It's not really in this episode, but there's a lot of science in the first 5 episodes. It's actually interesting. It's impossible to see everybody, but it's like this incredible family entertainment, I believe, especially the first 5 episodes, which is really science-based, and I really recommend go home and watch it with your kids, because all the kids that like that guy, and everyone likes that guy, so that's good. But there's also all this adventure and science in it. But I'm curious, by a show of hands, how many people who have kids would feel weird about this last episode showing it to them? A few, right? Right. And just to prove that people are actually listening to the question, how many people would not care about showing this to their children? Right. That's interesting. Yeah. No, it's I was watching it last night, thinking about it's heavy and what certain. How do you? I'm curious to ask what you guys think. What is there an age that kids shouldn't be exposed to? Like, my parents never took me to a funeral till through my whole childhood. I was not exposed to death in any way in my culture, which I always thought was a mistake. And probably why I'm now making films and fucking TV shows about it. But I'm curious what you guys think as the experts, how you think about that and talk to parents and stuff like that.
Kids already have a solid idea about death. Around the age.
Okay.
I hope people will realize that they have a smile in the face of adversity.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Ross Edgley. That's my T-shirt from it.
Yeah, I think further to that, what I took as a
Made it a great success, and I'd like to thank all of you, and of course the National Geographic and the Disney Plus for distributing the film with Chris here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.